they literally expect you to think the way that they think. They expect you, they train you and condition you to be like some kind of extension of themselves. To the point where they make you feel shamed or guilty for thinking differently or wanting differently, or because then they feel shamed. Like, well, why? Because then I'm going to have to rethink everything that I've done. No, you should be doing that anyway. Why are you basing, like, that just goes to show how fragile your infrastructure is. You know, that you're dealing with another person in that instance that's also insecure, but that is expecting of you to be some kind of extension of themselves, because it validates whatever they've created for themselves. But it's like, the second you challenge it, they shame you or they gang up on you to try to like cross your boundaries. That just shows how insecure they are, because they have to make it true somehow. They have to make their vision right, or their opinion right somehow. Otherwise, then they're going to have to be forced to sit with and think about their entire way of doing things, because, well, you're doing it differently and it's working out for you. So, like, what does that mean about myself then? Did I do it wrong the whole time? It's like, is my mask going to come off, or have I been wearing a mask? It's like if you're not listening to me and I actually don't know what I'm talking about, that for an insecure person, that shakes up their whole world, y'all. They can't handle it. It's not even about you, but because they're so insecure, they're affecting you. They're affecting you in a negative way. They're holding you back from your highest potential. And this happens all the freaking time. It really does. And you got to see it. You got to see it, because it's easy to miss, especially when it's somebody close to you, like a parent, a sibling, a lover. But the people that actually love you, they celebrate your uniqueness. They look for it. They can see it. They encourage it. They encourage you. They encourage you to be bigger than you've been. They challenge you. They motivate you. They cheer you on for real without any agenda with it. They just want to see you shine. The people, though, that benefit from you being shrunken and not shining your brightest light, you'll find that they have every reason as to why it's not a good idea. They'll put things in your mind, worries that don't even need to be there or exist, because that should not be fixated on more than the possibility of a better outcome. Like, clearly something's not working, so you're basically telling me to settle just because you don't think I should try? No, that's fear-based. And you can't practice gratitude if you're in a fear-based mentality. You can't practice love if you're in survivor mode. How are you going to do both? You can't. Your brain doesn't work that way, y'all. No brains work that way. They got to make sense out of everything. And if you're in your ego or you're in your fear, or it's like you can't be rational, especially around people that are holding you back and keeping you complacent. It's just the truth. And it's very hurt. It's a big pill, and it's a hard pill to swallow, because sometimes, and a lot of the time, y'all, it's even your parents or your family, and they're not even fully aware of it themselves. Okay? They themselves aren't even fully aware of it. So it's like, you have to see this. The difficulty of sitting people down and explaining this to them about how they've been treating you, they're going to deny that. They're going to feel offended, especially if they're lower vibrational. So it's just like, this is about your journey, about what you see. That's why you need to see. You need to use your third eye. You need to see it. You need to at least analyze the possibility. If you find yourself in a situation where it's like, no matter how much effort I put in, it's like not getting ahead. Look at who you're around. What mentality are you adopting? Are you around complainers? Are you around enablers? Are you around people that it's like they're so quick to like dismiss something that's different just because they're afraid of it, or they're jealous of it, or they don't want to be outshined, or whatever it is, man. It's all different kinds of bullshit that comes up. But it's hidden. It's in the moon energy. And sometimes it can't even be discussed because then you're the bad guy all of a sudden, and then there's another issue when you're supposed to stay focused on the issue at hand, which is self-actualizing. If you have had a mother or a father that was narcissistic or full-blown narcissism, they don't allow you to self-actualize. That's offensive to them. How dare you? So you have to force the space to be held for that for yourself, regardless of people trying to pressure you or disallow you to have any boundaries like a healthy, self-loving human being. It doesn't matter about their feelings. You shouldn't have to feel like you have to choose between somebody's feelings or their opinions. Otherwise, you're going to get shamed or guilted or kicked out of the group, or all of a sudden they don't love you anymore. They're not being nice anymore. No, of course I love you, but I just don't want to talk. I just don't want to talk right now. Everything's fine, but it's bullshit. They're treating you different. It's like stuff like that. There's no time for that. That's not as important. That's why people pleasing has to go. It's got to go, y'all. It's got to go out the door, out the window, never to be seen again. All right? This is your life, nobody else's. Your life, your soul's path. Yes, the people have birthed you. Yes, you have a family and you're loyal to them. Yes, you've had lovers that you care about, but they're not your person. And you might have to sacrifice a couple of them to keep your person. It's part of life. Yes, it's going to make people uncomfortable if you pursue somebody that's in the limelight. Yes, whatever. Yes, you might have the fear that they might leave you, but you know deep in your heart, if you think about it, that they love you, that they're choosing you. They're actually choosing you, so you need to focus more on that part than your fear. When you're focused on your fears, y'all, to live in fear is not to live at all. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's one of my favorite quotes because it's so fucking true. Can you please call my ex? Just show him this reading, y'all. But that's the thing. It doesn't matter if the message is there. If somebody's not ready to receive it, it doesn't even matter, y'all. But the thing about life that's so beautiful about life is, let's just say, for instance, there's 10 different readers, right? What I find so beautiful about life and the process of life is that maybe 9 other readers said the same kind of thing, but it's this one reader that said it a way that activated your brain to where it like hit different. Or you saw a sign and maybe like you saw something in a movie that just hit different. And it's like you've been shown it before, but it never made you actually ponder and go deep into thought about it. And it's like it could have been like a concept that was introduced in many ways throughout life, but something about a certain person or a certain sign or a certain conversation or a certain, it's like that's the divine. That's because that's your type of person. They're part of your soul tribe. They're part of your, that's when it hits different, whether it's uncomfortable or not. And most of the time it is, y'all. Your real friends are the ones that are assholes sometimes. Not to control you, but because they're going to check you. They're going to clock you. They're going to tell you when you're being ridiculous, or you're not being fair, or you're not trying hard enough. And how you respond to that really shows like what vibration you're vibing at. You're not supposed to personalize things. Everybody's a messenger. Okay, it's not. Don't kill the messenger. Okay, that's another quote that I love. It's all. You just gotta pay attention and be ready to receive the message. And if somebody's not ready to receive the message, if it's not being received by the right person, the right reader, the right movie, the right sign, the right experience, the right conversation, there's nothing you can do but focus on yourself and self-actualizing. To not be you is the greatest catastrophe there could ever possibly be. You're muddying up the life experience. The whole point is being lost in that case. If people keep coming at you, you need to protect yourself, obviously, and you need to isolate, and you need to get away from them somehow. You need to create distance somehow so that you can go within and learn how to set boundaries to where you command things in your behavior, in your words, in the way that you live. You command it. You put it before other people's feelings too, and they'll get it eventually. I mean, they can't like force you. You know, so it's like either you accommodate to me now, because I'm not trying to like abuse my power or anything. I'm just practicing self-love and not people-pleasing and putting my path first. So you to not respect that is your problem now. Because I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to offend you. And it's okay for me to change and level up. I'm sorry that's a disadvantage for you somehow. It's not personal. If somebody keeps personalizing it, you gotta keep sticking to your boundary. And then if you gotta create a no contact situation, or worst case scenario, indefinitely, and sometimes it can be your family, your friends, people that you love. Some people are just, they don't get it. They don't respect. They put their ego before respect of your life, your peace. It's like, if it's at the expense of your peace, it is always too expensive. Okay, that's how I'm going to leave this message. All right, what other messages for Aquarius? Y'all, I think it's Mel Robbins, one of the best psychologists. Like, there's a reason why she's so iconic and famous on YouTube, even on the audio snippets on TikTok. I'm sure you've heard of Mel Robbins. Check her out. Fucking phenomenal. Okay, every video she does, every appearance she makes, whatever she says, it's golden wisdom. All right, check her out if you want more amazing info on how to be your best version of yourself. Okay. Something's unbalanced, and so because of this, or something's unfair, something's unbalanced, something is not rational or grounded. Because of this, there's no blessings in disguise. It's because somebody is not connected to source. That's why there's so much tension. So that's why they can't restore something. This has to do with free expression. So again, this is exactly what we were just talking about. What's up, Emma? Email 1 is a little sketch. But what's up, Emma? But this is about free expression. In order to freely express yourself, you need to self-actualize. You need to go within. You need to decide who you are at the core. You need to develop that. You need to uncondition yourself. You need to, like, everything that you've been told to be and told to think and told to live like. You got to do that whole process of deconstructing. And that's ego death after ego death. It's very painful, but it's so necessary. And it's a process. And it's not something that you can speed up or mask and pretend. You can't. But it's so necessary. And the quicker you do that, the quicker you deconstruct everything and deactivate and cry and release things from your nervous system and face your inner child, the quicker you can self-actualize, and then the quicker you can freely express, regardless of who likes it or not. But if you never do that, you're gonna turn into one of those people that keeps other people small as well. And you're gonna continue the generational curse. Okay? So it's like, yeah. You get what I'm saying, y'all. This is about free expression. And if this is associated with the energy check that we did before this, there's somebody that does that. They're in the sun, they're in the star, they're in the world energy, maybe even like having a platform or some kind of fame and attention, and they freely express themselves, not for the fame, but because it's who they are. They're connected to source. They have the energy, the source, the supply within self, not outside of themselves, within self, within the divine. And so you can't outshine somebody that's on their North Node path that is connected to source. It's like, it's at the root. Even if you do root work, it's still not going to work. Even if you have talent in the moon energy, it's never gonna work. It's never gonna outdo the sun. It never will. The sun is so bright, it lights up the entire world, your entire reality. That's why people are drawn to certain energies, y'all. And it's not because they're outshining you. Technically, they are outshining you, but it's not with malice. They're outshining you because you, okay, are too busy people pleasing and not going through the same process that they did that was very painful. They've faced their shadows. They've sacrificed people. They've been alone. They've had to pull themselves up from like the worst situation. Like they've done it. Don't be mad at somebody who's earned that. If somebody's doing this to you, Aquarius, it's because they're not balanced. They're unfair. They feel entitled, and I don't know why. Or they're just unhealed. They're very unhealed. So there's no blessings in disguise in an unbalanced situation where there's no energy. There's no energy source. Nobody's connected to source. There's only moon energy. There's only obscurity. There's only ominous energy. And it's like, where's the energy pack? Where's the battery pack? Where's the sun? Where's the light? The moon isn't enough light. You still can't see if it's just the moon. You need street lights. It's like, how are you gonna drive if your headlights are out? With just the moon? No. There's a way of doing things, y'all. There's a way of seeing things. There's too much tension to restore something because somebody needs to restore themselves. And they need to pay attention to how their energy is behaving. They need to sit still. They need to learn how to sit still. They need to learn that it's okay. Breathe through it. Cry through it. You'll survive it. Believe in that. Believe you'll make it out to the other side going through an ego death. Or believe that there's another way. You don't have to feel stuck. You don't have to feel tension. That's not the only path in which you can go down. But it feels that way sometimes. Based on what circumstances are in the moment. Or if you have friends or not. It's all dependent on the components surrounding you at the time usually, or people's capacity. Yeah, the headlights. Y'all. You already know I'm always about laughing, you guys. I laugh at the craziest shit. It's a sign of emotional intelligence, but it's also extremely burdensome. Sometimes, because I don't ever want somebody to think that I'm laughing at an inappropriate, that I'm lacking empathy, because, oh my God, it's so the opposite. But sometimes, you gotta laugh at darkness. You can't, otherwise you're giving power to it sometimes. So yeah, laugh at anything I say. That basically is what I'm saying. Okay, so yeah, this is what we're talking about here. That's what's going on. Who should Aquarius be aware of now through November? Spirit. Who are we dealing with for Aquarius? Let's see. Aquarius, you're getting a longer read because that was a huge rant. Okay? But I feel like it was an important message for somebody needed to hear that. Okay? Alright, we have, this king in reverse, for instance. They need to hear that. Okay, somebody here is definitely isolating, and the color purple could be significant. Purple and blue. Maybe somebody is very bruised inside, very battered. Somebody here could have blue eyes, or somebody's favorite color could be purple or blue. Or somebody could be very sad but hiding it. Negative energies to watch out for, Aquarius, are somebody that places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Again, that's a fear. People that are controlling, it's because they have fears and insecurities, y'all. That's where controlling comes from. unless you're just evil and a psychopath. But even people that are narcissists or sociopaths, more so narcissists and like borderline, like people that are unbalanced and unfair sometimes, like the ones I just mentioned, it's because it comes from fear. And when you're in fear, it's like you're in your ego, and the ego is only constructed for self. It's only looking out for self. And sometimes if it's unbalanced, it can become irrational, and it doesn't think about anyone else involved. It only is out for self. How do I protect self? And when you're in fear, you're in your ego, usually. And if you're evolved, you can be in your ego and then realize you're in your ego and step outside of your ego simultaneously, and then hold some space there now as well. But somebody here that hasn't done the process of expanding their intellectual framework, expanding their spiritual intellect, they're not going to do that next step. They're not going to do. They're going to find it to be burdensome, energy draining, unfair. Doesn't matter. I should just care about myself. No, that's not loving yourself. That's not loving yourself. Being in your ego, operating from a place of fear. That's absolutely the opposite of loving yourself. And sadly, when you've been traumatized, it's not something you can always help. But once it is activated that, oh shit, maybe I might be doing that, and you've been triggered to that awareness somehow, whether through a sign or something somebody said or a reading, or a movie, like I said, once you get the sign that, oh shit, maybe I have been doing that, that's your cue to now expand on that. That's your cue. Okay, you need to look into that. That's the cue. But some people, they get that sign and they don't. And they just keep doing the same thing over and over again, hurting other people because they're operating from a place of fear. When you practice gratitude, it dissolves the fear. You can't do both at the same time. So if you wake up every day and you instead re-navigate your brain to focus on the things that you're thankful that you have, or the people, or the opportunities, you can start combating that in a higher vibrational way, that fear a bit. It's like I don't know, that's probably not going to work out. I shouldn't do it. What if they do leave me? What if they do get more famous and they do leave me and then I have lost everything? Okay, combat it. But what if they don't? What if they make me grow and I shine with them and we take over the world together? What if they don't? What if they're choosing me because they love me and they don't want anybody else? And I can actually trust that and finally relax and not be insecure, try to control their life or try to hold them back because I'm holding back, or because I've been held back, whatever, out of fear and control. Like, do you see what I mean? When you're practicing gratitude, because I'm so fucking happy I found this person. I'm so fucking happy they're choosing me. My God, what an honor. How could I ever be that lucky? What if you combated it with those types of thoughts? Then what? Like, I'm just saying. It's about what you choose to fixate on. And even if it is compulsive, it's up to you to decide whether you compulsively combat that or not. And the more you do that, the more you're rewiring and unconditioning and conditioning your brain in a different way, in a more positive way. When you're stuck in complainer's mentality or you're stuck in fear, y'all, that shit shows up in autoimmune diseases. That shit shows up in your health physically even. And you hurt other people physically even. It's like, by exhausting them emotionally. Just because you're afraid doesn't mean you get to project that onto somebody else. It's not right. So if you've been activated and you've gotten the cue, but you decide not to do anything about it, you're not a good person. It's as simple as that. You're not answering the call. You're not being fair. It's unbalanced. And you're depriving yourself, you're depriving the people that are meant for you, the soul tribe that God has set up for you, that you're supposed to only be able to be aligned with once you've done this process. It's like, you're never going to get there then. And that requires faith. That requires patience. That requires true self-love and love of others. When you really love people, when you really love animals, when you really love your job, when you really love things and people, and you really love the idea of happiness, and you're to the point where you're willing to do anything to make that so, then you're gonna do this. You're gonna accept the activation. You're gonna allow yourself to just your ego be obliterated into smithereens. You're gonna cry. You're gonna do it, and then you're going to rise slowly like a phoenix, and you're gonna shine your ass off just like that other person that shines, because you're gonna find your purpose. You're gonna have a whole new outlook on life, you know. So a king in reverse, somebody with excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint, the ugliest masculine there ever was, basically. Okay, who places financial gain over everything. Yes, it's Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, collective read. Yeah. So there's somebody here, though, that confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. So this is somebody that maybe doesn't have as much, or maybe doesn't do this. They don't place money before spirit. Like, they have boundaries. They will never sell their soul. They'll never burn people just to get ahead. They put their faith heavy on a pedestal, and they confront empowerment themselves as well as point it out for others. Like, and they survive. Look at them. They survive. So there's somebody here, whether it's you, Aquarius, or that somebody you're watching that is not taking this route, and is actually, they don't know how they're going to make the money, or they don't know how they're going to get ahead, but they're not going to do crazy ass shit to ensure their own. There's certain rules they're not going to break when it comes to humanity, okay? When it comes to their self-esteem, when it comes to compassion, all right? This is somebody that is a really good energy here, dealing with somebody that has maybe a fear of poverty, or like is an opportunist. This is like a King of Pentacles in reverse energy. Very selfish, corrupt, maybe would do shady things for money. They don't think that they should be restrained in any way or hold themselves back from an opportunity just because it hurts your feelings, or just because I made prior commitments to you, I should be able to break them if an opportunity comes up that benefits me. That's how this person thinks. No. There's certain things you don't do. There's integrity, which is a spiritual authority. If you've already proclaimed that you're doing something with a person, you transcend those obstacles together. You don't just leave somebody out in the dust and say, oh, well, I changed my mind. I'm going to, I don't think I should have to restrain myself in any way. What? You're a demon then. You're a demon. You know what I mean? Then you're a demon. You're not human. Your humanity is going out. Do you know what I mean? So that's something that somebody has to decide. And some people like that don't change, y'all. Either you're a human, or you're a demon, or you're a bot. Okay? It's up to you. Okay? And some of us are celestial. Like starseed, like cosmic. Okay? And I feel like that lives in everybody if you can find that light. If you can cultivate it. If you can celebrate it. If you can follow it. If you can share it. Then you can be celestial and cosmic as well. That's actually the goal of the whole life experience, okay? Like a robot, basically. Somebody that's just an empty vessel. A demon is somebody that's more than just an empty vessel. They actually get a thrill out of the darkness and destroying things and they work for Satan, not God. Okay? That's basically the best way I can put it. Take it as it resonates. Okay? So, we're going to move